Hello, YouTube. I want to tell you a few interesting things about ancient China. It's an endless reservoir of incredible stories and achievements. And I wish more people knew about them. So what I want to let you know today it's about a very interesting aquarium and then about two pagodas. So let me start with the aquarium itself. As history has shown, people have been keeping aquariums as far back as 2400 BC. The Sumerians, for example, the ancient people of Mesopotamia, have been identified as the world's earliest fish keepers. Fish keeping in those times served a practical purpose. They were kept in small ponds to serve as a ready food source. The rich land and waters of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers offered an abundant supply of fish as a renewable resource. Other ancient cultures appreciated fish not only for their nutritional value, but for their beauty as well. Pictures of animals, including fish, have been found in the art and carvings of ancient Egypt. Records from ancient Rome indicate that fish were kept to sell as a live product in open markets. Now, Eastern cultures refined the art of selective breeding for color and form with the introduction of the goldfish or carp from China over 2,000 years ago. Those common goldfish we now purchase for our fish bowls have a long and honored history. They were common in Europe by the 1700s as an ornamental fish and popular in America shortly thereafter. But there was one aquarium in China that was a wonder in itself. At the end of the 17th century, Catholic monks made a trip to China and told about this very amazing aquarium. A special transparent liquid was poured into this aquarium. At the same time, fish was not required for it because when the liquid was poured into the vessel, it seemed filled with fish. When the liquid was poured out, the aquarium turned out to be empty. The Chinese filled this aquarium several times so that the monks could repeatedly make sure that there were really no fish in the aquarium. This ancient technology has remained a mystery. Now, let's travel to the Zhejiang province. In Hangzhou, in this province, there is an interesting attraction, the Baochu Pagoda, or the Needle Pagoda. It is believed that it was built in the 10th century. It is known that its height was 45 meters, but in 1933 the tower was unsuccessfully restored, after which it became 15 meters shorter. Photos of the tower were preserved before the restoration, and you can see on one how it looked in 1917. So the Baochu Pagoda is located on the north side of the West Lake on top of the precious stone hill. Also known as Baochu Pagoda, it is generally thought to have been built over 1,000 years ago in the later Zhou dynasty of the 5 dynasties. In ancient times, the pagoda was repaired 6 times in the Song, Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasties. In the 54th year of the Qianlong, I believe it's 1789 AD, a broken stela recording Wu Yashuang's construction of the pagoda was found. The record said that the original pagoda had several layers of wooden eaves. The pagoda we see now was rebuilt in accordance with the original in 1933 in the 22nd year of the Republic of China. In 1997, the rusty spire was replaced. So, what's interesting about this pagoda is that it is very similar to modern TV towers or cell towers with an antenna at the top. So did the ancient Chinese know something that we got to know centuries later? Or did they look at some other technology that we don't have an opportunity to see today? And I want to tell you about another very interesting pagoda in the same area. The Leifeng Pagoda is a 5-story tall tower with 8 sides located on the Sunset Hill, south of the West Lake in Hangzhou, Zhejiang, China. Originally constructed in the year 975 AD, it collapsed in 1924, but was rebuilt in 2002. Since then, it has become a popular tourist attraction. As a protected cultural heritage unit, the 10 views of West Lake, Leifeng Sunset, consists of the Sunset Hill, Leifeng Pagoda, the Imperial Monument, it was rebuilt in recent years, and the courtyard and other buildings. Now, the original pagoda was built in 975 AD during the 5 dynasties and 10 kingdoms period at the order of King Zhongyu of the Wu Yeo for his favorite concubine consort Huang. The Leifeng Pagoda was an octagonal, 5-story structure built of brick and wood with a base built of bricks. During the Ming Dynasty, Japanese pirates attacked Hangzhou. Suspecting the pagoda contained weapons, they burned its wooden elements, leaving only the brick skeleton, which can be seen from the Ming paintings of the West Lake. Leifeng Pagoda was one of the 10 sites of the West Lake because of the legend of the white snake. In the Chinese folk story, the legend of white snake, the monk Fahai deceived Xuxian to Jinshan, and the white lady ran into Jinshan to rescue Xuxian and was suppressed by Fahai under the Leifeng Pagoda. Now listen to this. Later, due to superstition that the bricks from the tower could repel illness or prevent miscarriage, many people stole bricks from the tower to grind into powder. On the afternoon of September 25, 1924, that's almost 100 years ago, the pagoda finally collapsed due to disrepair. In the 13th year of the Republic of China in 1924, the brick tower of the Leifeng Pagoda fell into disrepair, and only ruins remain. In October 1999, the provincial and municipal governments decided to rebuild Leifeng Pagoda on top of the ruins of the old one. The new pagoda opened in October of 2002. It is composed of 1,400-ton steel structure with 200 tons of copper parts. It contains 4 sightseeing elevators and modern amenities such as air conditioning, television, and speakers. At the entrance of the pagoda, there are 2 autonomous escalators to carry visitors to the base of the pagoda. Do not miss it. If you go there, I think it's very interesting. The original base of the pagoda is basically kept in good condition, as well as the artifacts discovered in the underground chamber. The hidden floor of the Leifeng Pagoda is decorated with intricate carvings in the form of Dongyang wood carvings depicting the life story of Bai Nianji and Xuxian in the legend of the white snake. The carvings utilize 5 different techniques, including round carving, semi-round carving, high relief, deep relief, and shallow relief, which are combined in a form called overlay carving to enhance the storytelling and character portrayal of the legend. 51 groups of artifacts were excavated from the underground palace in the pagoda. This include the Ashoka Pagoda in silver and sterling silver, a national relic. Take a look at it. Tell me what it reminds you of. This is what I wanted to let you know today. about ancient China, some very interesting artifacts and objects that you can see there. And I'm sure archaeology will bring us much more as more discoveries are made in China, and I'll tell you about them when the time comes. If you like my research, please support me in the links you'll find in the description to this channel. Please tell others about my channel. Please like my videos. Thank you very much for your attention to my work.